What appeals to you about documentaries specifically? Have you considered narrative films, or do you just want to tell the stories about the human condition? Is that what drives you?
Yeah, it drives me to tell the unspeakable and to tell about those who are forgotten and about the topics which are forgotten. And they're nearly almost human rights driven, also very much women rights driven. So for me, I see it as a little bit as my mission. Since I think this is something I can do and I'm good to do it, it is telling stories through filmmaking. And there are so many issues in the world I'm concerned about. So, well, I take the camera.
Good day, filmmaker Natalie Halla of the film The Last Ambassador, showing this week at Hot Docs. How are you this morning, Natalie?
I'm tired, but I'm so happy because evening screening, the American premiere was incredible. It was a huge sale of 400 people sold out,
Oh,
standing
wow.
ovation. So there's and so much love from the people towards, especially also towards my main character, Manizha Bakhtari, the ambassador. That was very touching for me.
And she was there at the screening last night.
Yes, she was there and she filled the room with her aura and her personality. The people, nobody left after the screening. Everybody stayed. 400 people stayed for Q&A. This is something I've
Wow.
never seen before.
It's such a powerful story. The story of The Last Ambassador is about Manizha Bakhtari as the last ambassador from the government of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, unofficial. She's out there trying to maintain a government that supports women and that has them as part of their government, which doesn't exist now. How did you come up with showcasing her story and then getting the access for it? Because the access that you show in The Last Ambassador is incredible.
Yeah, now when I watch the footage and when I see the movie, somehow it is still a bit like a dream because when I wanted to make the movie, it was just a flash. It was shortly after Taliban takeover when I saw the ambassador in the news piece, in the main news piece in Austria. I thought I want to make the movie, but it will be impossible because, of course, an ambassador in her
Right.
situation, it's so delicate. So I didn't expect her to be able to let me make this movie, but build up this relationship of trust and friend in very short term because I immediately started filming. So I did not have a lot of time to prepare the ground. It was a chemistry between the two of us, I think, which helped to really fastly, yeah, get access to all the places, get access to her soul, to say it like this.
But she had to know, given your track record of filmmaking, what a powerful filmmaker you are. You started filming documentaries, I think, in 2010, and releasing documentaries. Did you have work before then? Like, how did you get involved in filmmaking?
Actually, I studied law. So I'm a total autodidact. I'm the granddaughter of two Austrian artists. So I think in my blood, I have this kind of artistic desire to express myself artistically, but my tool was not like the brush, but it was clear for somehow it would be the camera. Don't ask me why. I really don't know. I just started taking a camera in my hands and just started filming and doing all by myself. And from documentary to documentary, I learned by doing, I have to say. So this is the 10th documentary I'm doing.
Wow. And what appeals to you about documentaries specifically? Have you considered narrative films, or do you just want to tell the stories about the human condition? Is that what drives you?
Yeah, it drives me to tell the unspeakable and to tell about those who are forgotten and about the topics which are forgotten. And they're nearly almost human rights driven, also very much women rights driven. So for me, I see it as a little bit as my mission. Since I think this is something I can do and I'm good to do it, it is telling stories through filmmaking. And there are so many issues in the world I'm concerned about and that don't leave me ignorant. So well, I take the camera and I tell it.
And a lot of your documentaries are available on your website. I went back and I looked. I loved watching some of your previous documentaries. I think one of the documentaries that described your filmmaking was Life in Four Elements, which is brilliant, by the way. And it had the log line of the search for the ultimate value of life. And I feel like that's something that is connected throughout your entire filmmaking, whether it's Drug Mothers, Children of the Forest. It's this search for the value of what a human life is. And it's really, truly tremendous that you've kept your eyes on that goal.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is true. It's all in the very end about the human value and the sense of life. It's not just as this in Life Environment it says, I think it's from Dostoevsky. It says it's not just about staying alive. The greatest mystery in
Right.
humanity is not just staying alive, but finding something worth living for. And there are so many ways uh, our life can be lived. But I think that the ultimative goal is that, yeah, really we have to leave the planet or try to leave the planet a little bit better than we entered it. And I know this is a slogan, but everybody can do something, and not everybody has to do a movie, but just in the small things, and at least in how you treat the others who are in front of you and how you treat the others in need. It's about that.
Brilliant. So, Last Ambassador, when people watch it, they'll notice that you are on the road, like you're going a wide variety of different places. How did you, behind the scenes, how did you make that work? Was it just you with the camera? Did you have a crew with you? What kind of advice would you give somebody who's taking on such a heavy and difficult project?
My advice is to just, if you want to tell a story, just do it. Don't wait for big fundings and don't wait for a big team, because then you lose the story. So I started this journey really alone with just my camera. I did audio recording, I did it all by myself. So you can see it in the movie, of
Wow.
course, there's a progress. There are parts which are not so perfectly shot. And then later I got like a big production company on board. I approached to them because I understood that this film had really chances and it had to go to the broader audience. So that's why, yeah, I contacted them and they got bigger fundings, and I got a huge team, and then we continued the filming. But the intimate shots, the really good ones in the cars, for example, where the ambassador is opening herself up to me, these are shot just by myself. Yeah, because some things you can only film if you come alone and not with a big team. Then
Right.
it changes everything. And in documentary filmmaking, sometimes it's better, I think, to sacrifice quality or the visual quality and to gain in content and in soul.
I love that expression. So your focus on this was let's shoot it. I'll find the funding later. And you were able to pull that off by just going out there and doing it and not worrying, like applying for grants and being like, hold on, I got to get everything in line to be able to do it. You just went out there.
Yes, sure. That's how I started filmmaking, because honestly, since I didn't do any film school, the first documentary, or even, I think the first, I didn't even know what a film grant was. I really did it
Did
by
it?
my own. Okay, it was just a flight ticket, and that was it basically, because the rest was my work. And then gradually I got wiser. Because you also have to survive financially. But
Right.
yeah, so I'm really used to do a film without nothing. So I'm a really indie filmmaker, and that of course makes me really independent. Yeah.
I love that. So for someone starting out in documentaries, what kind of advice would you give them if they don't even have the capital to just go out and film? Would you suggest doing side projects while you keep a full-time job, or doing something else to be able to film this? Because now you've created a career for yourself, gone to a lot of prominent film festivals. What would you say to somebody just starting out how to achieve what you've done?
I have to say that even though I'm successful financially, I also have another job. I
Wow.
have three children at home. I cannot survive with filmmaking. That is the very sad truth.
Yeah.
So I have another job, just a normal bread job. But that does not stop me from making movies. Of course, maybe it's a more exhausting life, but yeah, I would even suggest have your bread job you with limited hours, of course, so that you still have time to make movies, and do both, because then you're free and don't drop it all and think, okay, I'm the great filmmaker, I can live with it. And then you are not free anymore because then you are like, yeah, you cannot even afford going out
Right.
with a camera and film. So this is my way of doing it. Maybe it's not the best. That's how I
It's what
chose
you
it.
do. So Natalie, you've been to, I would say, almost every prominent. You've had films at almost every prominent documentary film festival. When you go to a festival like Hot Docs, what are you going there for? Are you going there for to expand the audience of your film? Are you going there to meet people that could help finance a future project? Both. What is your strategy for film festivals when you take your film there?
I really love meeting fellow filmmakers. So this is the film festivals is the best chance to do that, to find out about other stories. I'm so much interested always in other human beings and their stories. And it's less about selling my story, more finding out about other stories. So this is one motivation. And one, of course, I know that for the audience, it makes a huge difference if you're personally there. It's
Right.
like for me, when I watch a movie and I know there is a Q&A and there's the director there or somebody who made the film, then it has a totally different meaning, of course. So it's also respect towards the audience who comes to get more from the film if I'm there personally. And yes, and also because then I choose the places I haven't been.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm also a curious person. So when I went, for example, to CBH Docs Copenhagen 1 month ago, it was good because I'd never been in Copenhagen before. And I don't know, deleting the little spots left where I've been.
I love that. So, your advice for any future people who want to start a film festival, start it in like the most obscure place ever. You'll get like the true documentary filmmakers out there because they just want to go to a place they haven't been to before.
Yeah, the best film festival for me was in Western Sahara, in a refugee camp of Western Sahara. Western Sahara. The film
Right?
festival is called Fil Sahara, and the movie was shown under the stars in the desert with all the refugee people around. It was
That's so
incredible. This
cool.
was for me the most special one. So I like those kind of
Oh, wow.
festivals.
So, document indie filmmakers always have to keep a million different projects going at once. Obviously, last ambassador you've taken at the festival circuit. What is next for you? Have you already started thinking about whatever your next project is?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, the films usually they show up from one moment, like the topics from one moment to the other. So it has not yet totally shown up. I'm very much interested in like stories of stateless people. So the statelessness is
Right.
like a topic which is in my head. I had it a bit like in The Shaman's Nightmare. The sea gypsies, they are stateless. So it's when I started getting interested in a topic. I always see. I still don't yet have that energy and time to really start something new because I think this film actually there's so much interest that it will keep me occupied quite a while. But yeah, in my head, it will come.
And you're based in Austria. What is that like for a filmmaker? Are there a lot of independent filmmakers based in Austria that you can build a community with? If somebody wants to set a film in Austria, would you recommend it as a filming location? Can you tell people what that experience is like?
Yeah, I think any place in the world is a good base camp to be a filmmaker, an independent filmmaker. Independently, if you want to tell stories about your related to your own country or any country in the world, yeah, it's a great place. It is a great place to live through. Yeah. The right wing influence also in Austria is
Right.
getting stronger. This for me is in that sense, it's not a great place to live, but actually there are not so many places left in
Don't
that
have that.
sense
Right.
where to go. But I'm not going to enter into the political things. How I'm what values
Although I
I'm
could
stand.
imagine we might see a good documentary for I would love to see your documentary on the rise of right-wing politics.
Yes, it could be another topic. Who knows? It could be.
Uh,
Giving me ideas.
I love that answer. Natalie Halla, the film is The Last Ambassador, just had a sold out screening at Hot Docs last night. I assume when The Last Ambassador is available for screening, you'll put it up on the website. People should definitely go see it. It's such a touching film about an important story that we need to shine the light on of what's going on in Afghanistan and the plight of women. And your film does such a good job of that. And I'm so appreciative for you joining me here on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks.